You're welcome, because we got another week of LCS action for you. The day started with a swagger walk from 100 Thieves and some 1v1s going down at the LCS tailgate. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LCS Countdown, where for 30 minutes we look at some delicious food and get a quick Aphelios breakdown until the timer reaches 0 and we jump into Champion Select. Right now, Cloud9 are undefeated, while 100 Thieves, Dignitas, FlyQuest, and TSM sit below them at 3 and 2, with Team Liquid perhaps surprisingly in 7th at 2 and 3. But when it comes to comparing the teams, sometimes it can be difficult within the league, and it can be nebulous, to say the least. So to help us sink our teeth into the buffet of squads within the league, I've tasked the analysts with delivering some delicious dishes that best encapsulate the quality of the team they've chosen. I'm going to give you an example. Here we have a light and fluffy feat of peak performance. Notice the perfect 5-0 sheen. It's got a rich flavor, but it's not too heavy. No part of this team is, and I bet you could scarf this down in an average time of 30 minutes and 10 seconds. I present to you, not gonna make you guess this one, Cloud9.
This is the Cloud9 cake.
This is the Cloud9 cake.
It's got the orange, so we got a little healthy element to it as well.
Is that orange or lemon?
I'd say that's orange, Mark.
I would hope so on chocolate.
Yeah,
orange.
all right.
Yeah.
The fact that you think that's yellow scares me.
I was just double checking. Next time I'll just assume things. I guess so.
Great.
Let's see if you can.
What did you bring for us
Let's see
today,
if you can
Mark?
assume.
Did you
the
bring a
team.
dish?
Yes, I brought a dish.
What'd
Let's
you
pull
bring?
it up. So, mine, you know what the ingredients are, right?
All right, so
it's
this-
all these things that are usually great.
I don't like a dish that requires work from me.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It feels like an incomplete dish.
Hold on. There should be a second one coming, but before then, it's like this, you know what it's gonna be, you know what
Right.
it should be. You have all the ingredients, usually the ingredients are good even on
Right.
their own. And then when you put them
fair.
all together, we'll see if we have the swipe.
It's
Monster.
something went very wrong
Something
there.
didn't work out. It might.
How did the chocolate get all around
that's not what
the
it looks like, by the way.
marshmallow?
Yeah,
No, not at all.
so that's my team. I want you to guess who it is. A team that looks like it should all come together,
All right.
and you get that.
So the team's got the pieces, but when you put it all together, it doesn't quite hit the mark. I'm gonna go with Dignitas.
But Dignitas is doing okay.
No, but they had the recent slips, so I think
A
they
little
gave the
messed up.
appearance. In the first few weeks, they gave us the
Probably.
appearance of having everything, and then more recently, we've realized maybe they don't
All right,
have
it
it all
can't
together.
be Dig because I wouldn't eat that. But week 1, week 2 Dig, I'd take a bite out of.
All right,
Okay,
so who do
okay.
you think it
All
is?
right, so what is it?
I don't know. This looks like such a big mess. Is this GGS?
No, you were closer. It was
What?
evil. It was evil geniuses.
Evil Genius. Okay, all right, that's fair.
I like that.
Pieces,
You have like the chocolatey MVP and
Yeah,
Sven
okay,
You've
okay.
got
Yeah.
you got Zazel and
Right,
Bang.
and it was
and
beautiful
former world
presentation
champion.
in that first image.
So what-
right?
what's
It,
the
look,
big
it looks
clump
like, and
of
they have a
chocolate?
great,
Yeah.
pitch to you about why they're going to be great, and then they get out there and it's.
You're like, something didn't come together here at the end.
Messed
All
that
right,
recipe up.
evil geniuses, I accept that. Probably, what'd you bring for us today?
All right, so I have a nice, delicious Oreo. This is America's favorite cookie.
Store-bought.
And I got it. It can be store-bought. That's the
Okay.
best part. This is not. You don't have to be super famous to be able to like cook this or anything like that. You don't need much talent. This is domestically probably your favorite cookie. It's really solid.
Yup.
I will say, however, there's a recent substitution, a nice fresh substitution, and it's very minty. And I'm gonna say the filling of my Oreos right now is toothpaste. So it's not your normal Oreo. It's a toothpaste Oreo.
So somebody hit the wrong switch
So-
on the assembly
yeah.
line.
So I think
and
probably
instead of going down the frosting route,
Yeah.
they went down the toothpaste route.
the recent substitution is throwing me off a little bit. I would probably say Team Liquid for that reason, though in my head I'm like, black. I want to say TSM at first for black.
No,
and
I
white.
like Team Liquid because he's talking about it's like now it's become the standard
Yeah, everyone
American
loves it,
cookie.
yeah.
Everyone loves it and
But
wants to
now
support
there's a
it.
sub.
You've got this beautiful expectation, and then boom, they sub in the toothpaste, and it all goes. Is that right?
It is Team Liquid.
Yeah, nicely done, Mark.
We don't have the double stuffed Oreo yet. Double stuffed Brox is coming in later.
Oh, that's
yeah.
what it is.
And then we'll have our real Oreo back.
Okay, I like it. I like it very much. I've actually got one
Yeah,
more
that's it.
dish for you, as you can see. And this one we have just brought live to the studio. This, I present to you a classic CLG. Through plenty of experimentation, yes, this dish has been through it all to find its final form. It's not quite there yet,
But they picked up a win, James. It can't be.
You're right, Mark.
Straight
No, you're right. It's
oatmeal
not
or-
as bad. It's not as bad as I thought. And so let me do this. Let me dress it up a little bit. I got a chocolate garnish.
That's their one win.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Hey, it looks-
I present to you the new
Can I
and
eat just the
improved
garnish?
CLG.
I would
just
the garnish?
I would just the one win.
Yeah, just that one win.
Trying to isolate.
I prefer it like that. It looks better than it did a second ago.
It's true. It got better. This dish has improved. There you have it. With the new split, there's also been a lot of growing pains, not least of which comes from one of League's newest marksmen. So Riv is standing by to give us an Aphelios breakdown.
Thank you very much, Das. So Set might be the most recent champion to join the League of Legends, but all the focus is still on Aphelios, the gun-toting Lunari wreaking havoc on the Rift. Now, he's certainly a strong champion, but not unbeatable. And the first step in taking down any opponent is to know your enemy. Now, I just want to make clear this is not a defense to the valid criticisms mounted towards visual clarity. I'm hoping this is a tool you can use to better understand Aphelios' moment-to-moment gameplay. Let's get started. Aphelios has 5 guns, and they all do different things. Here's how I like to remember them. Calibrum is the green, high-powered rifle that adds range. Severum is the red scythe pistol. Just like it sounds, you sever your opponents quickly when you use it. The Gravitum, the purple cannon. Think gravity. This auto attack slows opponents down and will root them if activated. Infernum, your flamethrower. A blue fiery inferno of fun. Using this ultimate may result in shock and awe. Crescendum, indicated by the white icon. This creates the turret. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Now, because Aphelios is a weapons master, he levels up differently than most champions. Instead of increasing the power of your skills each level, you get to level up your attack damage, your attack speed, and your armor penetration. Leveling attack damage first and attack speed second is always beneficial, and your core build should have some of the following items in it: Essence Reaver, Runaan's Hurricane, Infinity Edge, and whatever you're feeling good with. Whatever items then fit the situation could be Guardian's Angel, Phantom Dancer, and a Bloodthirster, all in the right scenario. Looking at runes, Press the Attack is most common on Aphelios, but you may opt for Lethal Tempo if you expect a long game. Boots most commonly are Berserker Greaves. I feel like there's a lot of room for experiment in this department, so have some fun on that one. With that out of the way, let's take a look at some of the weapon combos you need to watch out for by taking a look at some instances of pro play. First up in FlyQuest versus Team Liquid, Viper learned the hard way that Severum and Crescendum are Aphelios' most deadly close-range 1v1 tools. You can see here as Doublelift was ulted by Viper, he activates Red Severum for the movement speed, while also stacking chakrams on his offhand weapon. Instantly switching then to that ultimate of Crescendum, he's stacking even more chakrams, and you can see him using them all on his main hand attack to take down Viper. That's kind of the one people don't understand much, but you're always stacking chakrams if Crescendum is your offhand weapon when you use an ability. Aphelios has a game-changing ultimate as well, and more often than not, you'll see this used in one of 2 ways. Gravitum for a multi-person route, or Infernum to deal tons of damage. Our first ultimate is actually coming from Lost on this one. He actually goes into this fight with Infernum into Severum, and we're gonna see him get a triple kill there. That video is actually really good at showing how Aphelios' cooldowns are not shared with each other, and they can be used separately once you switch guns. Having all these tools at your disposal makes Aphelios a very fun champion to play, but scenarios like this can be frustrating to play against. So friends, I have some good news. Designers are looking into clarity improvements and an upcoming patch, like showing icons of both available guns next to his health bar and improving each icon's readability. There are also plans to reduce his ultimate range, so long-range ults from the Fog of War should soon become a thing of the past. And we'll see how those changes and more will affect Aphelios in the LCS. But for now, I have a feeling we'll still be seeing the Hitman on the Rift, so try him out. We're taking a quick break, but when we return, we jump into Jat's stats and raid some tower dives. Don't touch that browser.
Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, 17 minutes away from the first game of the day. Now we're moving on to this week's Jat Stats, where my caffeine intake has me working at maximum potential. I feel it. This is the week.
Yeah.
3 for 3. Bring it, Jat.
Well, it's 6 questions.
6
but
for
we're gonna
6.
have to go quickly.
Okay.
So I gotta make a confession. These aren't even my stats. Our lead stats analyst,
Whose stats are these?
these are
Generic
Chloe's
stats.
These are Chloe's stats. She's our lead stats analyst. She put them in the channel. She said, "Are these good stats?" They're
Okay.
all-time stats. And I'll tell you, I got 4 out of 6. Just going down the line and getting them. So that's the difficulty
These are
level.
Chloe Noes.
Okay, there we go. That's what
We got
that's
Jat
it for.
Stats and Chloe
So,
Noes.
Since it's 6, and I've already spent way too long explaining how I got the stats.
Yeah.
We got to go fast.
Let's
so
go.
first question. In LCS history, regular season history, which LCS player has the most unique champions played? Which player in LCS history has played the most unique champions? This question has been asked before on JatStats.
Bjergsen.
I would guess someone who's played a
gotta
long
be a
time in mid lane or top. So
I think
would
a
say
mid laner is an
Bjergsen.
obvious choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bjergsen.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go Bjergsen.
Bjergsen.
Yeah, Bjergsen's been here longest.
Okay, Zion Spartan.
Great.
So
I knew it was a
Great.
top laner.
Yeah,
for a
I
second.
got this
Is an
one.
interesting choice too.
Yeah,
Okay.
54 unique champions played.
54.
This one was actually asked at some point.
what's second most?
Question 2.
Yeah, where's
most
Bjergsen?
unique champions won on by an LCS player.
Bjergsen. He's one of the winningest players in the LCS. He's been here the longest and he's played alive. I'm sticking with Bjergsen.
Okay, he's sticking with Bjergsen. Probably Mark.
One with the most?
Watch,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Zion
Zion
Spartan
Spartan
again. It's gonna
played
be
the most.
Zion again. All 6
This is one of those one
all
things.
6
It's so
answers
psychological,
are
right?
just Zion Spartan.
It's so
Like,
psychological.
where he
Bjergsen.
died.
Impact?
It's Zion Spartan.
I
He
know,
has the most
I knew
played.
it.
Oh,
And he's won a lot of games. How did no one get that? Okay.
I said
So,
I
what
changed
is
the top laner at least.
the most picked champion in LCS history?
Zion Spartan.
Brom.
It's a
Zion
champion.
Spartan.
It is a champion.
Net Jax. Zion Spartan on Jax.
It's
That's
Brom.
Brom.
It's Brom.
Mark says Brom.
I know this one.
Probably said
All time though, even with his
Brom is the most
later.
played.
Let him just answer. We'll get to
I'm
the
gonna
next
go
one.
Brom too. He is the
go
most
every
played in every split that he's been available.
All right,
pretty
it's
much.
Brom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't get
He's
that
like-
one.
he's like
I
a-
got the 2 Zion Spartan ones. All right.
What was that, 584 games?
Yeah, that's a lot of games.
Zion played all of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, the
Zion's
most.
584 Brom.
Most banned champion. So we did most picked. What's the most banned? I got this one.
I'm thinking like,
time.
well, it's
Actually,
not
more
Cassian
bans
anymore.
than Brom has picks, as a hint.
All right, so it can't be like an eight, like a
Lucian.
recent OP in the
Lucian's
last
been-
year.
Probably not. That would be a lot
I
of
like
bans.
the idea where you're with casting because he was like literally
That was like
permabanned
permabanned for like
season
2 years straight.
Yeah,
Season
but-
3 and Season 4 is almost entirely permabanned. Nidalee has had a lot of reigns of terror.
Yeah,
But
but
hasn't
then,
been banned like
both
a year or
those
two.
Yeah.
both those champs have been forgotten for years now.
All right,
Same
this
with
is question
Cass.
4. We still have 2 more. You got to
So,
give me a name.
like Rise is banned a lot
Rise?
because of his constant
Yeah, Rise-
reworks and he's always
Yeah, I like
OP.
Rise.
I'm gonna go Rise.
Okay.
Zion Spartan on Rise.
It's not Rise, but keep
I'm
going.
gonna do jungle. I'm gonna do something like Jarvan.
Okay.
He's been in top lane and in jungle for a long time.
Akali just because it's
Sedge.
been so prevalent for so long.
That's close, but you forgot about the best of 3 days, LeBlanc.
Ah.
637 games
it
banned.
was
I forgot she
laner.
used to be really good.
LeBlanc, similar to a Cassidy.
Yeah, been around
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Question 5.
Okay.
Which player has the most first blood kills in LCS history?
Meteos?
Yeah. So it's a jungle.
It's got to be a jungle.
That is a
It's
good
a
one.
jungle.
I like the Meteos
This isn't
call.
a trick.
It's either Meteos
Or
or Smithy.
Smithy.
It's one of those.
Yeah, Smithy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Smithy.
I go Meteos.
You go Meteos?
Nick Smithy.
Smithy.
Good job. Yeah.
Got one.
Good job.
Boom.
Those 2. Last
I
one.
get a half point.
Most
for that.
first blood deaths.
Kiwi Kid.
There are 2 correct answers to this
Played
question.
for like a year, dude. That was so flame.
He was the death leader at one point.
It's Zion Spartan.
Zion Spartan.
We're going
He's got-
back. He's played a lot of games.
And it's just like Jat to have it all come full circle
Yeah,
at
it
the
would
end of
be.
the segment. So I like it. Zion Spartan for real.
Is this a style for Jet Stats? He always comes back. at the end?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Or not.
I mean, this is Chloe's stat.
Thematic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. They're Chloe Noes.
Fact. Yeah,
So
Chloe Noes.
But did he die? Top laners, I guess,
Did he
do
though?
die a lot.
He
but
played a lot of different champions. Maybe he didn't have like. It's not Zion Spartan. You can.
Lemon Nation.
They're both
No,
right.
I didn't
Thanks
play
for the
him,
help.
Guess,
but
yeah.
Who was it?
Yeah.
Who's-
I don't
know.
care what his guess is now. I want
Yeah,
to know.
All right.
I don't know.
Here's the answer. Probably doesn't know. Impact and Hunter. Tied.
Wow.
Oh, it's both
Deaths.
top laners.
Yeah. This tie was not broken
That's
yesterday. because
okay. It's
neither of
actually
them
baffling to me that Impact holds
Does that
back because we
include
talk about
playoffs?
him being
he's
such a
played weak side,
phenomenal
no, regular
weak side top laner
Yeah.
that he won't give away anything. So it's
Well,
weird.
his
Yeah.
speciality is like
But he's
even if
so
he
weak
dies,
side.
he's okay.
He's always alone
Yeah.
too.
All those
Team just forgets
all those
about
tip
him.
days, just dying every game in the top lane. He's been around for a while.
Okay. Well, those
That
were
wasn't
some
fair. I
fun
wasn't here
jobs
for that.
stats.
All
Or
time
Chloe
LCS
Noes.
history, yeah.
Thank you very much for presenting those Chloe Noes.
Yeah, no problem.
A thing often lost in professional League of Legends is the art and nuance that goes into perfectly executing certain maneuvers. So to create a greater appreciation, we tried our hand at rating one of League's oldest plays, the tower dive.
4v2 is pretty normal for a bot lane dive when you lose mid priority.
Okay. Welcome to the 2020 Los Angeles LCS Dive Competition. We are your esteemed judges ready to provide some unbiased, keen analysis. Let's start with our first dive as CLG take a lead in a 2 versus 1 turret dive.
That's the standard turret dive in the LCS, especially in the top lane. Here we see. Doesn't look like it's going right though.
No, I think this is Ruin actually gets a position to push in the lane, and then we have Wiggly come up to actually help him out. So this dive should have been correct.
Something went awry there, but I'm going to turn to the judges for their scores.
This is a classic bottom of the barrel. I think execution of the dive was very mistimed, and I think it was actually a pretty easy dive to start with the Rek'Sai ultimate and the Kayle ultimate.
They had the tools to do it. They did get the kill, but they came up short. I think at least they had something right in there.
Yeah, exactly. I split the difference between the two of you. It was not for nothing. They did pick up the kill, but they gave away more than they got, which is why they land out of 3. Next up in the multi-man dive heat, Immortals. They coordinate against FlyQuest.
Another typical dive in the LCS when you lose mid-priority in the bot lane. 2v4.
Yeah, this is the classic mid difference.
Oh.
Mid has TP, but it's not enough, and Ike actually gets the kill there.
Does trade one back, and it turns into a 3-for-3. What's going to happen after this?
I don't know, this is a pretty risky chase down here, I'd have to say.
It was a good look, though, with the initial kill, the flash in. This one a lot tougher to call, but I will turn to the judges for their scores. Show me.
I'm gonna give this a classic 9.
Wow.
They're bumping up in the world. I like the Flay into the Cassio Miasma. It felt good.
They got TP out from the top laner as well to help get an advantage on the other side of the map.
And the mid laner.
Yeah, I think all around that's a very good play, even though it only looked like a 1-for-1.
Some solid valuation there on the spent summoner spells. I'm going to go with a 5 because once again, we expended the mid laner flash just to trade for a 1-for-1. Didn't net them as much as I would have liked to have seen. Next up, TSM, they showed their diving chops against Dignitas.
Alrighty, a 2v2 in the top lane. A little bit more difficult of an execution. Uh-oh, they're out of sync.
Oh, no.
Only one went in.
Where did the other one go?
He just left. He's walked away.
Is he allowed to leave?
That was brutal. That was brutal. Let's see it.
I'm gonna say difficulty was very hard.
That is true.
Difficulty was hard. So
That is
Difficulty was
true.
hard.
You know what? Given new information, I'm going to update my score. They are now at 2. I'm going to give them that point for difficulty, but the execution was just abysmal on
All over the
fronts.
place.
All fronts, totally mis-executed. And given LCS's struggles with the turret dives up to this point, I thought it would be wise to take a lesson from a better region. One of the best regions in the world.
The best.
2 of the best teams from that region, G2 Fnatic over in the LEC. Show us how it's done. How does one dive a turret?
the 4v1 dive, the classic. Here we go.
Well, you can't screw this up.
Ooh.
Oh, that Braum critical
I'm-
damage.
I'm sure they'll get him right after this.
Right,
though.
this is they kill him as soon as, you know, it's going to end up being like
Oh,
a
wait, there's a
3-for-1.
TP.
Oh, this is the dive.
Oh,
that was just a lead up.
It started too soon. They'll kill.
Okay.
They'll get Bwippo here. And the
Now I
classic
get it.
2v1 dive as it should have been.
I understand now. Oh, interesting.
Very,
All right.
very interesting.
And the verdict is?
Amazing.
That was incredible.
Revolutionary.
Did you see how many people died there underneath turrets?
I can't.
A lot of deaths.
I hope someday we
Europe
could be
is
that
not
good.
that insane.
Well, hey, look, somehow
How
both
did they all die?
somehow both teams got gold out of that turret dive. So
I can't argue
right?
that.
Both
actually.
teams
Yeah,
had
you're
more
right.
gold than when they started those turret dives.
I've just never seen anything like it. I'm just stunned.
It was impressive, to say the least. Hope you learned a thing or two about juggling turret damage. For now, though, we're going to take a break. More LCS Countdown on the other side. Welcome back to the LCS Countdown. 6:30 to go till that first game of the day. Before we jump into today's games, a schedule. Reminder that Monday Night League returns tomorrow, where Tigris and the Analysts will be bringing you the final 2 matches of the week. Then Avli and Riv will be joined by Golden Glue and Keith as they kick back and chat about the week. And now let's take a look at what our schedule has cooking for us today. Up first, Immortals and 100 Thieves take to the Rift with Dignitas trying their hand against Cloud9 in Game 3. As the Academy team from both squads will face off to finish out our day. For more on that Game 1, though, we've got Pastry Time and Jat standing by to give you their thoughts ahead of their cast.
Thank you, Dash. And today we've got 2 teams who are doing well, all things considered, to the surprise of many, with 100 Thieves coming in at 3-2 and Immortals at 2-2.
Absolutely. And for 100 Thieves, while they kind of crawled their way to earlier victories over COG and Golden Guardians, they had their best game of the split versus Team Liquid yesterday. You can see 2.7K gold at 15. That was propelled by their best early game of the split and finished off by 3 solo kills for Someday. So I'm looking for them to try and replicate that today, and I want to see them use the red side in the draft to secure someday a good matchup, and then rely on Stunt and Meteos to create the same type of early game they had yesterday.
On the other side, though, looking across at Immortals, they're a team who came into the season with pretty low expectations, honestly, from fans, but they still find themselves at 2-2 and an actual chance to move into a tie for second by the end of the week if they win here and then versus CLG on Monday night.
And for me, they've won largely through teamwork. Hakuho has kind of flown under the radar, but leads the league in kill participation at 88%, meaning where Hakuho goes, the kills often follow. They're also another team coming off of their best game of the split. They had that decisive win versus Golden Guardians last week, and will look to continue that here.
Well, that's what we're looking at, Dash. Until game one, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, gents. I want to gather some predictions as we heard the casters' thoughts on the first game of the day. Let's
I bet we're
get
the
you
same.
guys.
Yeah, they seem.
It's a pretty easy
Even
day.
bad spot.
I think Immortals vs.
think
100 Thieves is like a lot of these games can go either way, but there is a clear favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Fly EG is going to be
What
the
do you
one
think?
that.
I was gonna say,
it's
which-
an upset. I think that's going to be the upset.
You think that's
Fly
the upset?
EG?
If there is one. I think today is a pretty standard day.
Wow.
I could see Immortals
I
winning.
could see-
And I can see Dig.
I can see-
giving C9 a tough game.
I can see Golden Guardians grabbing one even against
Okay.
TSM. I mean, like
TSM's
all these.
on the upswing.
Well, you know what?
They're looking like a team.
I rate the spiciness of those predictions a solid 1. You guys
Yeah.
couldn't have disagreed on one thing today. Come on.
I was gonna hold my
Yeah.
own number, but I was like, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
it
right.
is a 1.
I knew it too
Yeah.
as I put those predictions in. I was like,
You can affirm my rating.
Yeah.
Crawley's gonna do the same.
All right, well, ahead of his match today, Zabutoon weighs in on what he hopes for the team.
I mean, I'm not a really huge fan of like who's the carry question as a whole. I don't think it's necessary in a team. I think that all the great teams in League of Legends have always been playing as a unit, whether it was like a unit of huge carries or not. So it's more looking forward to like see the team play as a unit and see how we kind of understand and try to apply our game plan more so than, oh, look at this player because he gets all the resources, because I don't really believe that's the way the game works. I mean, 2-2 is satisfying knowing that we had 2 days of training before the season started. I'm not a huge result person either. You know, it's like the process is more important. So I'm working more so on the process. It's good that we're not late, that we got wins on the way. We still need to step up a lot as a team. I feel like it's really hard to answer because the peak is usually happening during summer splits. So I take this as a learning experience, kind of regardless of the process, regardless of the results. But I think we can eventually be a good team. I mean, we always expect the win and play well. Like, it's not only just getting the win, it's important for the fans, for the audience, but as well, like, how do you achieve the win? Is it a clean win? For instance, like our win against GG was much more clean than the one against TSM, so it's kind of looking forward to have that. I'm always excited to play against other teammates, former teammates, like Aphelios. So yeah, I hope Just is going to be a very good game for the fans to watch and not a clown fiesta. For sure. I mean, there is a lot of former Immortals fan. Even when I was coaching Optic, there was a lot of Immortals fan in the audience. So I just want to say to the loyal ones that stayed like on board with the IMT train, thanks to you guys. And I mean, we'll try to make you proud.
Hit me with your quick thoughts on his response to that first question, kind of the approach of the team and the idea of having a carry versus not having a carry.
I mean, like, ideologically, it feels nice. You know, we're a team, everyone's equals and stuff. But really, if you're playing against a team with, like, no strong point, like, that's a really easy draft, really easy game. Like, you got to have someone on the team that you're like, we got to put bans in. We need to counterpick this player. Like, we can't pick these champions because they'll destroy us.
I mean, it's one thing to be like, okay, well, we don't over-invest in the player.
Yeah.
Like, we're not always drafting our own person, always getting the jungle proximity up. Like, the jungle's playing around him all the time. But you do want someone who is the threat. And I
Yeah, you
feel
need
like
that
that's
scary-ness.
kind of the rub against Immortals right now is who is the most threatening on that team?
Right, so we'll get into who that might be, but I am going to go to the 100 Thieves win conditions first. Let's get those up on the board before we establish how Immortals might find a victory.
Okay, so I'm 100 Thieves. I think my win conditions are pretty easy. I'm going to just play like I did yesterday. I think they played a pretty smart game. They didn't take like huge risks. I think their late game shot calling like fell apart a little bit, but I think that can happen in some like these longer games. So I'm going to go with play like Saturday, and I don't want to risk a early game. I think Immortals does not have a strong mid-late game, and I think the only way we can kind of get tripped up is if, yeah, we get, I don't know, stomped early, something unlucky happens.
That's what I'm hoping happens. 'Cause
Okay.
For me, I want to attack bot lane early. I mean, with all the lane swaps that happen in 8 minutes, you have to be aggressive from the drop, as soon as it starts.
Yep.
And so I like Hakuho. You heard Jat talking about how he is the one where most of their kills happen around. And I think Stunt is someone that you can potentially find in situations that are around more like mid-river skirmishes in the bot side where people are moving around for vision control. I think you can catch him there. So I want to be very proactive with Smithy and Hakuho around the bot river.
Does that mean you think that Altec is eventually the guy that Immortals is going to have to get behind as their star
I think you
or
can
their
do
carry?
it kind of how sometimes happens with Cody's son, where he's not like trying to stomp people in lane, but you are spoon feeding him kills. And I think Smithy and Hakuho can try and do that.
Fair enough. We'll have to see if they can give us that kind of a performance today up against 100 Thieves. But with that, we're going to throw it out to the battle arena to get ourselves into the first game of the day.
Thank you very much, Dash. Let's kick things off here, Chad. This should be quite the game. Both the Models and 100 Thieves somewhat on the rise, I would say. Certainly 100 Thieves have to be feeling good off their win yesterday.